Hello, dear Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurus. I am Michaela. This is my astrological channel called Todayenergy, and this is a monthly astrological forecast for June, especially for you. So June promises to be a bit slower, month calmer than the previous 2 months. I'm sure you experienced some important, maybe life-changing events because we had the eclipses in your sign. So now it's time to integrate the changes. We have Mercury, Pluto, Saturn retrograde, at the end of the month Neptune as well, but still there are some surprises life keeps for you, dear Taurus, because Uranus is still in your sign, as well as Rahu, the north lunar node. Well, let's dive in. The beginning of the month is quite emotional because we still remember, we feel this fiery explosive conjunction of Jupiter and Mars in Aries, squaring the black moon Lilith in your third house, emotional provocations, much ado for nothing, as Shakespeare said. And this is your 12th third house, so maybe it's hard for you to relax and to sleep. There is this internal turmoil, and at the same time be very careful not to be emotionally provoked by your closest people, neighbors, siblings, relatives, your environment, and don't react on informational provocations. On the 3rd, Mercury stations to go direct. That's great news because mercurial topics will go like on a full steam speed soon, but not yet, because be careful, 2nd, 3rd and 4th of June Mercury is retrograde at 26, Mercury station, sorry, it's like barely moves, at 26 degrees of your sign. So there are possible misunderstandings, especially with your relationships, your partners, in your environment, and you might be too distracted to notice details. Don't trust your opinions about or your thoughts about your look, your body, or your health, your diet, because also don't make any health examinations during this time because there might be not clear, not real results. Mercury rules your 2nd and 5th house, so not good days around the 3rd of June to do any financial operations, buy stuff, and also decide important things related to your business, romantic partners, or children. But again, after even the 18th of June, when Mercury leaves the retrograde shadow, and if you don't know about what is this, you can listen to my video about Mercury retrograde. The information is obviously still relevant. So after the 18th, all these topics will be like opened for development and progress. On the 5th of June, Saturn is stationed to go retrograde at 25th degree of Aquarius, and for you this is your 10th house. Especially you will feel it if your MC, the cusp of your 10th house, is around this degree. Well, dear Taurus, Saturnian topics will be overall with us all the first 10 days of June at the very least, because Saturn is a social, slow planet. It moves slowly, so when it stations, the attention is to Saturn. On mundane level is the government, is regulation, rules, obstacles. In your case, you see how important is actually the precision of astrology to be like more focused on particular individuals. Like for Taurus, most probably Saturn rules your 9th and 10th houses. So Saturn might give some blockages, some delays in topics related to your education, travels, second marriages, documents, law procedures, court trials, your own authority, expressing your opinion and your authority, delays, blockages, insecurities, fear. Saturn gives a feeling of guilt as well, but don't give in to these feelings really. Saturn rules also your 10th house, so it's about work, career, long-term goals. What do you want to leave as a legacy after you? It's about your mission in life. It's about your parents as well, so maybe there will be some kind of hard time, let's say, and arguments even with older generation, with parents, with superiors at work, or maybe you become such superior person, you change position, you maybe upgrade at work, but Saturn requires patience, rationality, to be cold-headed, to follow your principles and to work hard, to be persistent. And yeah, while it's retrograde, it's about doing the hard job, go back in time, redo something, finish something, put effort, it's like running, you know, this sport, run with obstacles. And I could promise you that after the 22nd of October, when Saturn goes again direct, we all will see results from our own decent and responsible work, and we will feel more mature and more achieving higher status, you know, and higher positions in life, especially for you, 10th house, yeah, status and achievements. So admit your ambitions and don't be afraid of responsibilities. And 9th house, work on your knowledge, to be knowledgeable enough, not to be ashamed, right? And to be kind of this authority figures for others. Have the faith, work on your faith on yourself. On the 12th, Venus conjuncts Uranus, and Venus is you, it's your ruler. So you will surprise others, you will maybe even shock others. Venus wants freedom. Uranus is the rebel, so you will be like a rebel for all of us. And also Venus rules your 6th house. This conjunction happens in your 1st house, so maybe you go freelancing, you leave your old workplace. I mean, don't rush, don't be unreasonable, but if it's time for you to move on, then Uranus will give you this push of liberation and freedom. You might modernize your workspace, you might need to work more with gadgets, with IT technologies, internet, tablets, social medias, electricity as well. You might collaborate with other people who are more skilled in these topics. 6th house is about health, so you might discover some non-traditional medicine, something ultra-modern like vibrations, ultrasound, Bach drops, which are essences from flowers and plants, but they work with our emotions and vibrations as well. Venus, 1st house, maybe suddenly and shockingly for others, you will change your look. How do you look like? Maybe you'll cut your hair, or maybe you will dye your hair in some completely new colors and crazy colors. And don't worry, as my grandfather says, you can cut your hair. It's not a hand; it will grow back, so you can experiment. You really might feel bored from your previous life and relationships. So, you know, experimentation is good, something fresh and new in relationships is wonderful, but just, you know, don't burn bridges too harshly so you are not sorry afterwards. So be careful with electricity and high places around the 12th. On the 13th, Mercury goes into Gemini once again. That's your 2nd house. Mercury will be here till the 5th of July. So happy days. It's great for negotiations, communication, for more money, for finances, for increase in salary, for work. It's great for work trips and travels, buying something for home, especially some gadgets to modernize your home. Maybe buy yourself a new mobile phone or laptop, computer, and you can make money out of social medias, writing, teaching, transport, travels, and manual skills as well. On the 14th, we have a full moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, and that's your 8th house. So there might be some culmination of a relationship, maybe endings, maybe relationship grows to a next level. This full moon is squared by Neptune. in your 11th house. So be careful by not taking advices from friends regarding your intimate relationships, because your friends might just accidentally confuse you. Also, 8th house is about passive incomes. So here maybe there will be some news about your partner's money and income. Maybe you will maybe a passive income source will finish, like a scholarship or government support. And also, again, 11th house, friends, be careful not to spend too much money on group projects and kind of lending, borrowing money to your friends. I mean, of course, it's a good thing and you can do it, but be careful to know what kind of, like, there is a saying, when you borrow something, sometimes just make sure you borrow something you can live without it, and not to expect that it will be returned to you someday soon, because it might not. And especially if you are investing, 8th house is about investments into something that your friends told you about, or it's something like organizations or group projects or internet, then just double check what you are exactly investing into. Last but not least, 8th house, about our deep psychological, emotional transformation, overcoming crisis and hard time in life. So you might actually receive support by your friends and some groups of like-minded people and supporters. This is a great time and full moon if you work as a doctor or psychologist, or it's a great time to ask help and advice by such people. Also, you might experience some better overview of your own dreams, goals, hopes and wishes and long-term goals. There might be some shifts and change there. But try to be realistic about your long-term goals. On the 16th, your ruler Venus conjuncts Rahu, North Lunar Node. It's exciting day or couple of days. It's your first house, so you might lead the progress, show the way to other people, to your partners. There might be something completely new starting in your life. That's kind of the echo from the spring eclipses. And remember, we still will have 2 more eclipses in autumn. Maybe completely new look, new diet, new wardrobe, like new clothes, right? New relationships possibly, new ideas. Listen carefully this day about information comes into you. Who you are meeting on your life path, because Rahu talks about your future and the path of your development and your destiny. So on this day you might meet your destiny. On the 19th, it's a tough day because Venus, your ruler, squares Saturn in your 10th house, so there might be kind of you are hitting a wall, or there might be obstacles or confrontations with higher management, with parents, older people, some stuck work projects. But also Venus makes a sextile to Neptune, so you might get help from like-minded people, friends, your tribe, organizations, or if you just go dancing or go to your tourism club or salsa club, where you go for joy and pleasure. Oh, there is a squirrel behind me. Well, then you will get the relief from this Saturnian tough square. On the 21st, the sun goes into Cancer. That's your 3rd house. Wherever the sun goes, there is our attention. So your attention will be to your studies, vehicle, communication, maybe your siblings, neighbors, your closest environment. And the same day, your ruler Venus makes a trine to Pluto in your 9th house. So you have the courage, you have the ambitions, you have the determination, discernment. Wow, that's a great day, definitely for studies, for exams, for being well-renowned, respected, to show your authority, to publish, to teach, to travel. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Gemini, and that's your 2nd house. Venus will be in Gemini till the 18th of July, and because Venus rules you, you kind of put this kind of social behavior of Gemini for this month. So you become a bit more sociable, chatty, light, in a sense that someone says, hey, let's go there. You're like, sure, let's go. More mobile, more curious about new knowledge, meeting people. And because it's your second house, your focus will be, of course, on your work and finances. Venus can bring more money in second house, but also there can be more spendings, and definitely you will enjoy these processes. Maybe you will decorate your home, please your five senses, your body, massages, good food, stuff like that. Venus rules your first and sixth house, so there is really focus on work, making money, but also health and beauty, like physical look overall. Do some exercises and eat something that is really healthy for you, but also brings you pleasure. No need to torture yourself. On the 28th, Neptune goes retrograde at 25th degree of Pisces. Neptune is a very far away, slow social planet, so we all collectively will feel Neptunian influence the last week of June, the first week of July. It might be topics about media, movies, Hollywood, medicine, illnesses, sea, ocean, dreams, virtual reality. But for you particularly, Neptune focuses, like your focus these 2 weeks will be on your 11th house of hopes, dreams and wishes, but also on your friends. Now here is a double-edged sword, as we say. On one hand, Neptune is great for empathy, compassion, this warm, cozy meetings with friends, feeling understood, feeling supported, feeling part of a group. Neptune knows no borders, no limitations, but be careful for your friends not to cross your own boundaries. Be careful not to be invaded, because like your psyche doesn't have any boundaries either, so not to be invaded by the social media, by what your friends are telling you. Know your limits, like what is my opinion, what is my friend's opinion and advices. Be careful not to be too trusting, easily trusting to people, organizations, group of friends. Again, if you invest money, double check the cause into which you invest. Regarding your friends, but as well as your hopes and long-term goals, you might be quite confused. You might be over idealizing, with this like pink glasses. So try to be hopeful, dream big, definitely, but also remember Saturn. Stay grounded, study, put effort into achieving your goals. Be reasonable with your what do you want to achieve, especially regarding your profession. And lastly, on the 29th, we have a new moon at 7 degrees of Cancer together with Lilith, this emotional turmoil, manipulations, overreactions emotionally, much ado for nothing. So that's your third house, so be careful for communication and manipulations in social medias, online, by your siblings, neighbors, acquaintances, relatives. They might behave like spoiled kids, there might be tantrums, they might be oversensitive. This new moon makes a square to Jupiter, which is in Aries, in your 12th house. So you are this kind of spiritual person, you are above these daily turmoils and hustle and bustle and circumstances. So it's way better for you to keep a distance, to meditate, do some spiritual practices, and if need be, retreat in yourself. And so, dear friends, with this we finish this forecast for June. Thank you very much for liking, sharing my video, for subscribing for my channel. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel and me grow professionally as well. So, dear Taurus, I wish you a wonderful June and enjoy it. May it be helpful and pleasant for you, and see you soon. Bye.